Hi guys, so while we can't be physically with you here in the studio and we are asking you to manage your alignment, manage your technique yourself on your own at home, I wanted to give you a few tips on kind of the transitioning pose that we do in our flow classes. So sometimes we don't really name this, partly because as a rule at the studio we tend not to use Sanskrit because most people can't speak it. And it's very difficult to describe this thing without using the Sanskrit. So ultimately in Sanskrit it's called Chaturanga, and then you are either taking it into a low cobra or into an Updog. And it's a flowing movement that you tend to do between poses, and its role really is to rinse the body. In a flowing yoga practice, it also helps to kind of keep the moves flowing, to enable us to connect one movement to the other. It's a really nice way of building strength. It's a lovely stretch for your front body and your spine. But sometimes I'm really conscious that when we're teaching, you perhaps are a bit confused as to what option you should be going for, because as a rule, we would generally ask you to choose between two. So we will tell you to kind of lower down to the floor so that your hips and your legs are on the mat and come into a little baby cobra, or we'll tell you to go through like what we might call a full plank transition into an up dog. So I wanted to just show you both of those today, help you find the right technique in them, and help you also know which of those options that you should be taking. So let's start with the easier version. So generally you're in a down dog position, and then we will cue the flow move. So the first thing to point out is your distance in your down dog. Draw your belly button up and under, and as you float forwards into down dog, you should be able to hold a plank without any adjustment of your feet. So that's how you know whether or not you've got your feet too far in or too far back in your down dog. So as you flow forwards, draw the belly button up and under, press down through the heels of the palms, squeeze your elbows in, and you kind of ripple forward. So there's no dip between my shoulder blades. I'm pushing the mat away really hard. I'm rippling forwards, coming high on my toes. Now, right now, the tendency is to lift your bottom up. This makes it a lot easier, but you've got to kick through equally the balls of the feet and the heels, and then you're in an upward plank position. Do you notice how my wrists are actually a little bit further back than my shoulders? Let's take that back up in the air again. So just working through that one more time. So starting from down dog, squeeze your elbows in, press down through the heels of the palms, draw your belly button up and under, puff up through the shoulder blades, come up high to the toes, press through the toes, ripple the body weight forwards, align the wrists slightly sort of behind the shoulders, and now drop your bottom as you kick through the balls of the feet, through the heels, and you feel your thigh muscles start to really switch on. So if you didn't have a burning sensation as you were working through that, I don't know what you were doing, but to be honest, I'm knackered just after that a little bit. So that's how you firstly come into your plank position. Now once you're in plank, you have the option. We tell you to drop your knees for a knees, chest, chin transition, or we tell you to come through a full plank. So we're going to work on that knees, chest, chin. So if you are new to yoga, if you know that strength is not your forte, you should definitely be doing a knees, chest, chin. So let's take it from the top. So coming back into your down dog again, pressing through the heels, bending your knees as much as you need, pushing away with the fingertips, drawing up the belly underneath the rib cage. Begin to ripple forward, so press into the toes, ripple forwards, bring the shoulders beyond your wrists. Now press through the heels, drop the belly, drop the bottom slightly, so shoulders, hips and heels are stacked. At this point, drop your knees, release your toes. So see how my shoulders are still slightly beyond my wrists. Push the mat away, draw the belly button up and under. Now as you bend your elbows go back. They don't go out to the side, they go back. So imagine you've tied your elbows together as tightly as you can. Body weight rocks forwards, push the mat away and lower down, keeping your elbows on top of your wrists. And then you lower everything to the floor. Push back up. Let's try that again. Starting from your down dog position. Squeeze your elbows in, suck up your belly. So ripple forwards, come up high to the toes, fill out any dip between the shoulder blades, rock it forwards. Take a minute, kick through the balls of the feet and the heels, drop the hips slightly, suck in your belly, knees to the floor. You've got to push the mat away energetically, tuck in your elbows, rock the body weight forwards, slowly, super slowly. As you exhale, you lower down. Everything comes to the floor. So see where my hands have landed, they're way back, so I'm already set up for my little cobra maneuver. Squeeze your elbows in, roll the shoulder blades back and down. Push all 10 toes into the floor, lift your thigh muscles. So my legs right now are really strong. My bottom is engaged, but it's not squeezing tightly. Roll the shoulder blades down and then begin to lift up. So there's absolutely no weight in my hands. You do not push up. Reason being, that's going to crunch your lower back. You don't want to compress into your lower back. So start with chin and chest on the floor, tuck in your elbows, drag the mat back behind you with the heels of the palms, press all 10 toes into the floor, lift your belly away from the mat, and as you breathe in, you very, very slowly lift the gaze, looking up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, chin to the floor. Squeeze your elbows in. So from here we transition back into down dog, but it needs to be strong. So a really nice way to do that is via child's pose. So you can curl your toes back under, squeeze your elbows in, lift your belly. Press down with the heels of the palms. So notice how my hands haven't moved at all as I've been transitioning through these poses. Press down through the heels of the palms, switch on your arm strength, lift the belly away. Very swiftly press down through the heels of the palms, push back. Hips to heels. So my toes are curled under. I'm in child's pose. Press through the palms, squeeze your elbows in towards your ears, and then lift your hips. And you've returned back to your down dog. And then you can walk out your down dog. You can sway through your hips. And then settle into down dog. Drop your knees to the floor. So that's ultimately your flow. Rock forwards, plank, drop the knees to the floor, squeeze your elbows in. Remember, the body weight rocks forward, shoulders away from ears the whole time your tummy is in tight. As you lower, push, 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 push away the floor. Lower, chin and chest first, and then you slide through. Legs will go back behind you, elbows tuck into ropes, fingers way back, and then a little baby cobra without pushing with your hands, using the strength of your spine only. Let's flow that all together. Starting in down dog. You can walk out your down dog. Take a few breaths. Make sure the feet are far enough back. So your goal as you work through your flows is to not keep repositioning the body. That can take some practice. Let's go. Draw the belly button up and under. Let's start to ripple. Come up high to the toes. Ripple the body forwards. No dip between the shoulder blades. Now kick through the heels. Drop the bottom slightly. Fire up through the thighs. Tuck in your belly. Drop your knees. You've still got your shoulders slightly beyond your wrists. Tuck in the elbows. Lower down on the exhale breath. See how your chin and chest touch first. And then you're sliding through. Everything's on the floor. Squeeze your elbows in. Take an inhale breath. Lift your chest. Lift your gaze. Baby cobra. Bring your chin back down to the floor. Curl your toes under. Lift the belly first. Squeeze the elbows. Press through the heels of the palms. Push back. Child's pose. Hips high. Down dog. Drop your knees to the floor. Rest here. So in order to do those flows properly, it requires a lot of strength. Strengthen your legs, strengthen your arms, strengthen your belly. Your goal is to move as you breathe. Exhales to lower, inhales to lift, exhales to push back. So what happens when we work through flow classes, they're very dynamic, body's moving quite rapidly. You tend to lose control of your breath. Once you lose control of your breath, you've basically lost your yoga. Yoga is all about moving with a nice, steady breathing pattern, working with your body rather than against it. So if that happens, the best thing that you can do is skip those flows. That will do more from your body than trying to push on through. So if ever you feel like your strength has gone, just take a break. So you can modify them really, really easily to skip them. I'm going to show you how. So if you find that your teacher is cueing, we're going to go through our flow, we're going to do our vinyasa, and you've had enough, what you do is dead simple. So you'll have started in child's pose, in down dog. Press down through the heels. Take an inhale breath, rock the body weight forwards, drop the knees to the floor, push back, child's pose, and then curl your toes under, lift your hips, down dog. That's your shortcut version. I'm going to show you once again. Press down through the heels of the palms, ripple forwards, kick through the balls of the feet, kick through the heels, shoulders, hips and heels stacked. Drop your knees. Push back, hips to heels. That's creating length in your spine. Make sure your arms are strong. Squeeze your elbows in. And then curl your toes under. Lift your hips. Return back to your down dog. That is an option if you want to keep some semblance of a flow movement. Alternatively, guys, just drop it. Just come straight into child's pose. You don't have to do anything at all. So that is your modified version, knees, chest and chin. We're going to go on to the slightly harder version now. So you can switch this up all of the time during class. You've got to listen to your own body and work with your own body. So maybe you start knees, chest and chin to warm up the body. You then might just want to take a few breaks, and then maybe you ramp it up a little bit towards the end. But keep working between the different ones, listen to your body, and just make sure that you've always got that marriage of breath and movement, and that you feel like you're strong through your body rather than weak in your body. Okay, so let's now look at the slightly more challenging version. So you might hear this called Chaturanga. You might, I for example call it kind of the full plank variation. But the main difference between this one is that your knees don't touch the floor. You lower down in one single solid plank. I'm going to break this down into a number of different options for you depending on your upper body strength, your leg strength, your core strength. So you can play around with the different options, you can see what suits you. And you can always kind of vary it, change it up as you're practicing. If you're starting to feel tired, you've got options to take the intensity back out. You need to work with your own body. So, a lot of this is the same as before. So let's come into down dog. So settling into your down dog, checking the placement of your feet. So the ripple forwards is exactly the same. Press down through the heels of the palms. Draw the belly button up and under. As you ripple forwards, kick through the balls of the feet and through the heels. So as you come forwards, the hips naturally drop and your shoulders, hips and your heels are in one straight line. Firm your thighs, push the mat away. We're going to lower to the floor in one single solid straight line. So tuck in your elbows, kick through the heels and come down flat. I really struggle to do this. Try to touch everything at the same time. Release your toes. So the first option here is just to take this into a baby cobra. It's the same as we did before. Dial the elbows in, roll the shoulder blades down. On your inhale breath, point your toes, lightly squeeze your bottom, lift your chest and come up. Bring your chin to the floor. So you can do what we did before, curl your toes under, child's pose first and then into down dog. Or curl your toes. This time we kind of skip the child's pose. So squeeze your elbows in, lift your belly off the floor first. So see, I can get my hand between my belly and the floor right now. I'm sucking up everything. Squeeze your elbows, push up, straight to down dog. So you're still transferring onto the knees, it's a little bit easier, but you haven't got that kind of exaggerated press hips back to heels for child's pose. Let's try that again. Come up high onto your toes. Ripple forwards, kick through the balls of the feet, drop the bottom down, level with the shoulders, tuck in your elbows, push the mat away hard, lower down, strong arms and legs, release your feet once you come to the floor. Tuck in your elbows, Inhale, breath, baby cobra to lift, shoulder blades draw down the spine. And then curl the toes, suck in your belly, so remember you're lifting the belly off the floor, push, knees, press up, down dog. So tremendous power through your arms to lift you up. Knees down on the floor, back to kneeling. That's your first option. So we're going to take this a little bit further still. This time, we're going to lower down through the full plank. We're going to come all the way to the floor, and we're going to move into up dog from the floor. So this is kind of your option 2 to build strength. So starting down dog again. Paddle through the heels and down dog, sway through the hips, get comfy. Press down through the palms, squeeze your elbows in, so really anchoring down those little paddy bits underneath your knuckles. Begin to ripple, puff up through the shoulders, ripple forwards, kick through the balls of the feet, through the heels, come to your full plank position. Tuck in your elbows. Imagine you're squeezing your elbows together, lower down, kicking through the heels as you come down. Bring your belly to the floor. Relax your toes. So again, you've got that little baby cobra option if that's where you want to stay. Otherwise, we can fire this up into an up dog from here. Roll the shoulder blades back and down. Press your toes, energize your thighs so much that your thighs have lifted off the mat. Check that the heels of the palms are way, way back. Squeeze in your elbows. Roll the shoulder blades back. Press into the toes, lift your belly up and off the floor, push up. So see now my shoulder heads are forwards. Roll the shoulder blades back and down and send your gaze up towards the ceiling. My legs are so strong. Point through the toes, press down through the palms, and then lower all the way back down. Take a breath. We're going to give that another go. As you come up, your wrists should be sort of in line with the shoulders. Maybe slightly further back, but never forwards of the shoulders. Roll the shoulder blades back and down. Let's go again. Press down through the toes, lift your belly away from the mat. Press down through the heels of the palms. Super strong legs, they couldn't be stronger. Push into the heels, 3, push the mat away, come up. Shoulder heads forward, you've got to switch that. So roll the shoulder blades back and down and see how your chest naturally pops forwards. Feet are flat on the floor, ankle bones drawing together. And then slowly drop the thighs, come down. I've got cramp, ow. Just take a break. That's really uncomfortable. Push back. Take a child's pose if you need it. I'm going to stretch out my feet. Okay, that was option 2. Now we go up to the big guns. The big one. Full chaturanga into up dog. Only do this if you know you've got the strength. You've got to be in that perfect plank as you come down. What we do on this one is nothing is going to touch the floor. You lower down until your elbows, what do we do? Lower down until your chest is level with your elbows. At no point does anything touch the floor. All you do is flip your feet to come up into that up dog position. I'm going to show you the first time, and then we're going to do it together. So you start in down dog. And then the ripple forwards is the same. So lift the gaze, come up high to the toes, kick through the balls of the feet, rock forwards, drop your hips slightly. Lower down. So to be honest with you, I probably haven't got the strength to do this. I'm going to show you this relatively badly, but stick with me. Tuck in your elbows, come down. Bottom is not sticking up in the air. So even then already, I have to give up. It's tough. Most important thing is you haven't left your bottom in the air. That is what I find most difficult. I stick my bum up, means that my belly's not working. And if I aim to do it properly, it is really tough, guys. If you're feeling loads of pressure in your wrists, you're not using your core, you're not using the rest of your body enough. Right, let's give this another go. Send your hips up high. Okay, so just watching this first time. I'm going to do it relatively quickly because to hold it kills me. Draw the belly button up and under. Ripple forwards. And then squeeze in your elbows, lower down. Halfway, nothing on the floor. Turn your feet one by one. Press your chest forwards. Roll your shoulder heads back. Squeeze your bum, squeeze your legs. Push away with the heels of the palms. Now flip your feet one by one. And lift your hips up. into down dog. Woo. Drop your knees to the floor. Oh, so that is strong. It's strong if you're doing it properly. Normally what happens is there's some kind of like wiggly worm effect going on where everything starts to sag and dip and touch the floor when it shouldn't. So, most important things to remember are that your torso comes down, but your elbows are stacked over your wrist and your elbows are hugging your ribs. So one nice thing to do, I'm just going to grab a little bit of a prop, is to practice a little lowering bit at home. These might be a bit too high, to be honest. Checking that your rib cage doesn't drop too low. So if you imagine you're in that kind of plank position, kick through the balls of the feet, tuck in your elbows, you lower down, but you only come as far as the block, and then you can push back up. Whoa. What tends to happen is that chest sags, and if you've got that block there for a little bit of help, you'll find that your chest is going beyond your block and everything's kind of collapsing. So the ripple forward, you've practiced that already. You ripple forwards, elbows in, lower down, and then you need to hover there, squeezing. Once you're able to do that and hold that nice and strongly, then you're ready to do the next bit. So the next bit is that you turn your feet. So let's go in stages, breaking it down. Kick through the balls of the feet, rock the body weight forwards, come down that halfway position, kick through the balls of the feet, and now turn the feet one by one and push. So at this point, shoulder blades tend to fall forwards. You've got to roll the shoulder blades back, lift your chest and firm your thighs. And then turn the feet one by one, lift the hips. So if turning your feet is too much, drop your knees. Modify it slightly. Curl the toes under, lift your hips. Come into your down dog. So you can take the options that you need. Okay, I'm exhausted. Hopefully that was helpful. If you want to have a little practice at home, you can. I'm just going to take you through the 3 variations one final time, so you know what you're opting for. Okay, starting in down dog. So option 1, knees, chest and chin, modified version. Rock the body weight forwards, kick through the balls of the feet, stack the wrists, the shoulders, slightly beyond the wrists. Push everything away. Relax the knees to the mat, let go of any tension in the toes. Keep body weight forwards, tuck in elbows, lower down until your chin and your chest touch, and then you slide through. Belly buttons on the floor, squeeze your elbows in, no weight in your hands, press into the toes, lift your chest, lift your gaze, baby cobra. Bring your chin to the floor, curl your toes under, press through the heels of the palms, lift the belly, push back, hips against heels, nice toe stretch, head to the floor, and then lift your hips up high, down dog. Option 1, practicing if you're new to yoga, practicing if you're building the strength in your arms and your legs and your core. Always good for an early morning practice to do that kind of a transition. Always good to do that transition a few times while you're warming up until you can get the strength, yeah? Don't go in at the deep end with the kind of the highest level. Work your way up to it. So that's your level 1. Level 2. So this time we're going to go through the full plank, but we're going to modify it. Rock the body weight forwards, kick through the balls of the feet, ripple forwards. This time you take the plank all the way down to the floor. Option here, baby cobra. Always advisable if you've got back issues, just to stick with baby cobra. If you want to practice the up dog, chin on the floor, elbows squeeze in. Press down through your feet, firm your thighs as tight as you can. Press into the heels of the palms, push up, and then roll the shoulder blades back and lift your gaze. Tighten your bottom, lift your legs. And then you can drop to the knees, push back, lift your hips. Breathe here. That's kind of option 2, building up a body strength. Option 3, final option. Let's go for it. Down dog. Press down through the heels. Lovely guys, rock the body weight forwards, kick through the balls of the feet as you do so. Lower down, pushing the mat away, don't let the bottom rise like mine does. Slide through, press through the heels of the palms, turn your feet, roll the shoulder blades back.
firm thighs, lift your chest. Curl the toes one by one.
Lift the hips, down dog. Blimey, I'm exhausted. Press the heels down towards the floor, let your head hang. Lovely, guys, knees on the mat. Woo!
That was a workout. Shows how lazy I am normally when I'm practicing. But I actually have to think about it. Woo. Hopefully that helped. Any questions, get in touch. And look forward to seeing you back on your mat again soon. Take care, guys. Bye.